Hello! Welcome people, it's Phil here in the Digital DJ Tips studio with another Thursday live Q&A. It's so good to be here, especially when we have new gear to show you. It's always good when we have new gear, isn't it? So we have the new controller from Hercules here, which is the one you saw in the introduction. It's the Hercules DJ Control Inpulse 500. Now, we've already done a big review of this, which went live over on our YouTube channel just about an hour ago, and also there is a full written review of this controller. So if you want to dive deep into everything about this, that's the place to go. Go and check out our written review on digitaldjtips.com and check out the full review. I want to get your questions on this today though. That's what Thursday Questions is about. Not only on this, because this is an open session, you ask what you want, but obviously this is a new piece of gear, it's only an hour old, so this is something that a lot of people are talking about. And I'm going to kind of start off by giving you 5 things about it, 5 talking points about this unit, which I think you're going to find interesting. But as always, it's a live show, so the first thing I want to do is go and say hello to everyone who's popping up in our chat room. So let's go and say hello to a few people before we get started. So hello to Jadesh, who's our first person on Facebook, on YouTube today. Hello to Neil and Greg over there on Facebook, and Maximus and Rob on Twitch. And I want your questions. So this is the most important thing, people. Lovely that you're saying hello. A lot of you are just very pleased that this thing's happened, saying wow. But do let me know your questions about this. And while I'm waiting for you to think of questions about this controller, this one that's just been launched that we're looking at here, the DJ Control Impulse 300 from Hercules. While we're waiting for your questions on that, I'll just answer our first question, which was about something different, which is from Keaton, who says, "Hi Phil, I hope you've had another good week. I'm going to be looking into upgrading my DDJ SB3 to an intermediary before a CDJ 2000. Any suggestions? Go for one of the bigger pioneers, the DDJ 800 or DDJ 1000, if you're going to be moving to club gear later on." I mean, that's from these kind of beginner controllers, that's the next step to something like that. Right, okay. Keep your questions coming in, people. I can see lots of them arriving already. But I first want to just head over to the teaching area and talk you through the 5 points that I think are awesome about this new Hercules controller. Actually, there's 4 that I think are awesome, and one I'm not so sure about. I'd like to know what you think about it. One question here from Maximus: Does it have balanced outputs? Interestingly, not. I'll show you what the outputs are doing in a second, but that's an interesting talking point about it. All right then, let's do it. Let's get back over there and talk all about this new controller from Hercules. All right then. So the look and feel of this thing is really very, very similar. Can you guess? Can you guess what I'm going to say? It's very similar to the Tractor Control S3. They are the same size, very, very similar look on the jog wheels. I mean, look at this. These are very similar controllers indeed. What was that? I hope it's not taking us off the air. No, it hasn't. So they've got the same. No, in fact, it's so similar. Let me just show you the pads. Look at this pad layout here. Look at the fact that they've got the small pitch control. They've got the same size and shape and click on their buttons. It is almost, dare I say it, well, let's just say heavily influenced by the Tractor Control S3. And the S2 is the smaller one. Now the Hercules is a 2-channel controller, but here's the thing. The Tractor controllers are pretty semi-pro. They're a step up from beginner controllers. This feels a step up from beginner controllers. It really does. The build quality, it's got something the Tractor controller hasn't got. It's got a metal top plate. This is metal. The build quality, the knobs, the refinement. These buttons here have got little lights in them to say when they're switched on and off, which is something that is really, really nice. Just in the corner of the loop, slicer, sampler and so on buttons, there's little lights. Overall, it feels like a kind of mid-range $500-600 controller. And you expect to see a power socket around the back because it just looks like the kind of controller that you have to plug power in to get it to work. But it's not. It takes all its power from the computer. It feels bigger than it is. But look, it gets better than that, because the second thing I wanted to tell you about, we turn it over and I'll put the camera above. It's got feet. Check that out. Not only feet, but how bling is that? It's got 4 lights. So now when we stand this thing up, it's higher and if it was dark in here, you'd see that it would actually be glowing underneath. And it's got carry handles down here as well to pick it up when it's in that kind of state. It really is a very nicely made thing. The build quality, the look and feel, those feet and the lights underneath, it's just a nice controller, and it's nice to see, especially when you hold it against the kind of old generation of little controllers. I've got a couple of the Pioneers here. These suddenly look cheap, basically, compared to this one here. Now, the Hercules controller is €279 and pounds, $299, so it's not quite as cheap as some of those. And another controller that's extremely well built is the Newmark Mixtrack Pro and Platinum. These are very well built controllers, and they have equally very slightly larger jog wheels as well, actually, than the Hercules one. But nonetheless, this controller here does feel, more than any of those other ones I've just shown you, it feels like it is posher than it really is, which is a good thing. So the other thing that makes it feel a little bit more special than just a budget controller is the amount of inputs and outputs you've got. So here we've got a mic input and an auxiliary input. So that's good in itself that there's an auxiliary input. Those beginner controllers down there that I was showing you a second ago don't have that input. But the auxiliary input has got a filter on it, and the mic input has got a 2-band EQ on it. Pretty good. Filter on an auxiliary input, not seen that anywhere before, and high and low EQ on the mic input, it's really nice. Round the back, let's put that camera up here so you can see this, we have both RCA and 1/4-inch jack outputs, and this is where it gets strange because the outputs are unbalanced, they're not balanced. I don't know why that is. I'd like to have seen those as balanced outputs, but hey, that's what you get. The mic in is balanced, and your auxiliary in, you've got both a 1/8-inch jack and RCA, so you can potentially plug 2 auxiliary sources in there, although they'll all be controlled by the same knob on the front. So there's a lot of flexibility with the inputs and outputs there. The one thing I found strange, I'll demo to you, is the way the effects work. It's not bad, it's just, let's just say it's different. So let's get some music playing on here. Just try and turn that down so at least, hopefully you can hear me over the music. So you get a filter here. So far so normal, right? But I'm in Serato now, and it does come with dejuiced software, which is all in the review, which is their own software. I'm using Serato, but anyway, this works in a weird way. So if I put FX1 on this little button here, it will turn on Serato's first effect. So I'll set Serato's first effect to a off-camera, to a something that is kind of like obvious. So I'm just looking for a phaser or something. What, so many effects set in Serato here that it's hard to just find a simple phaser nowadays. But anyway, let's go for a dub echo. Listen. So that's kicking in. If I turn this way, it's exactly the same. All you're doing by turning away from the 12 o'clock position is turning the effect on, turning the effect fader. And that's a bit weird. You're not getting 2 different effects, one in each direction. So it's all right. For the transform, it's all right. It's just weird. You'd expect it to do a different thing, wouldn't you, as you turn it each way? So that's a bit strange. But that said, having Serato effects right there on the filter knob with the FX1, 2, 3, 4 is pretty innovative, really, and I think it's probably all you need. You just set your first 3 effects up on FX1, 2, and 3, and you just use that knob to control them. But you have to get used to the fact that it does the same thing when you turn it in either direction. So anyway, they're my talking points about this unit. As I say, this isn't a full review. The full review is over on our YouTube channel, but more importantly, you can see the video and the full write-up on digitaldjtips.com. It's the top stories as I record this, or rather as we present this show. So head over to digitaldjtips.com. It'll be obvious where that is. What I really want to do, though, is get your questions on this. That's the point of these lives. We can answer your questions. So let's go back to the comment cam and see what you've got to say about the new Hercules DJ Inpulse 500. All right, then. Lots and lots of, you're just the best. You know that, people. You are just the best because I've got so much useful stuff to share here. Do you think the pads are any good? Yes, the pads are. They click when you press them. Guess what? Just like the Tractor Control S3. But they're RGB, they're rubberized, they're nice. I like them. Robert's just moving over to Twitch. Oh, there you go. Wonder if that's because there are problems on Facebook, on YouTube. Anyway, so Jason says, I'm interested in this controller. Looks like her Isles have started following the trend in design. I'm not sure what oh, you mean Hercules, it's a mistype. Right, yes, it's a very, very good looking controller for sure. All right then. How to record you talking on a microphone in the mix? That's a very good question. Controllers like this one here and most budget controllers, the microphone, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying this about this one, the microphone doesn't come through the software, although, no, I don't think it does. So that means you can't record your microphone in the mix. I might be wrong about that, I don't think I am. So the way you have to record your mix when you are wanting to have your microphone on it is to plug something into the outputs and record from that. So you need a little audio interface or something that records plugged into the second set of outputs in order to record your microphone as well. J.I. Penade or G. Penade says, any news about a new controller replacing the Pioneer DDJ 400, which is looking quite old nowadays? No, there isn't. All right then. So more of your questions about this. Hercules just smacked Newmark in the face twice and said, Platinum what? It looks like a nice entry-level controller for beginners. It sucks that Serato doesn't let you take use of the 8 Q points. So if you go and look at my review, what I point out is that when you're using Serato DJ Lite that comes in the box with this controller, you don't get to use all 4 Qs. You can't, as I'm doing now, I've set all 8 Qs here. Sorry, you don't get to use all 8 Qs. And because I've got Serato DJ Pro loaded here, I've just set 8 Qs on a track. In Serato DJ Lite, you only get the top 4, and these are pretty lame transport controls like backwards, forwards, sensor and stuff like that, because it's just a limitation of Serato DJ Lite. It's what they want you to, one of the reasons they want you to upgrade is because you get annoyed at little things like that. So it's the same with all Serato DJ Lite controllers, but that does come with their own software, dejuiced in the box as well. And actually, let me show you another nice function on this, now I'm thinking about it. It's got a little flashing light here, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see this when I hit play on the track. So let me hit play on the track that was playing on that deck there. You see this little light here? Hopefully you can see. It's going red, blue, 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 red, blue, blue, blue. That is flashing. The red is the beginning of the bar, and the blue is notes 2, 3, and 4. Beats 2, 3, and 4. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I think that's nice. If you're using Dejuice, their software, that lets you do quite a weird thing. It's called Energy, and what you can do is press it down and turn it, and it will set a colour, and then Dejuice will look through your music library and give you all the tracks that it thinks are in that energy level. That's too much for me. Pick your own next track, I say. But anyway, it's there, and it's a feature, and it's cool. It also has a nice feature for aligning your beats. I can't show you because I've got Serato DJ Pro loaded at the moment, but let's just have a look, and I'll point out where it is. So what you have here is this little button called Beat Match Guide, and the Beat Match Guide will light up these 2 arrows here. These aren't just there for show. These are they light up to show you whether this track needs to be pushed forward a bit or back a bit to line the beats up. It's actually really, really nice. And another thing I liked was these 2 lights here that light up and tell you which deck is on, which deck is live. See that? Both. Nice, right? Unusual. All right then, more of your stuff about this. Jason's just saying that it really does look like a step up for Hercules, so thank you for that. Thoughts on this versus the Newmark Mix Track FX range, says James. The single filter stroke FX knob on the Hercules seems like a bad call. Well, it kind of does if you want more control over the effects, but actually on the Newmark controllers, I think the effects are actually even more limited on these. And the reason for that is you get this little paddle for turning them on and off, and you get the knobs for the effect intensity, which is like turning the filter knob on there. You also get a beats control, which they haven't got on there. The FX4 button on there, I would like to have seen it cycle through the beats values, quarter, half, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, back to the beginning, right? Because it's a waste of a button. It doesn't do anything at the moment. Anyway, the problem with these is you can't reassign these. These are assigned permanently to high pass filter, low pass filter, flanger, echo, reverb, and phaser. And that's it. You want to use other, you've got Serato DJ Pro with loads and loads of effects, and you can't change those buttons. You're stuck. With this one here, you can. With this one here, you have to do it in the software. You have to click on the effect in the software. but it'll let you set those effects 1, 2, and 3 to whatever you want. So in a way, that's more flexible. I don't really mind. I think people put far too many controls on effects. You really want to just grab the knob, get the effect in, get the effect out again. And I think that's fine, to be honest. I just wish it would do something different when you turn in either direction, because that seems like a bit of a wasted a wasted feature, because you'd expect it to. But hey, no, I'd say they're about the same. Also, so other comparisons between that and the Numark FX range. The Numark Platinum FX will give you 4-deck control, and this one won't. This is only 2-deck. And build quality, I think this one definitely wins, although the FX are wonderfully built. They really are nice. But this is just a bit bigger, and because it's got those feet, it stands up a bit higher, and it just looks a bit more refined, I'd say. It's a close call because the Numarks are very well made, but yeah, I really like it. So I called Pioneer cheap, did I? Yeah, they are cheap. These little controllers are cheap. These aren't expensive. Pioneer aren't going to fleece you for something like this in the way that they would for a Nexus system. So yeah, Pioneer's got cheap gear as well. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that. Pioneer is one of those brands that's got expensive and cheap gear. I mean, this is not a expensive piece of equipment, is it? So yeah, Pioneer's got cheap gear as well as expensive gear. Okay, so more questions. I do like the look of the Hercules controller, says Matthew. It's a shame more controllers, says Mark, don't have raised feet of some type. It would certainly help hide cables. Good point, but I think when you saw that in the dark, you'd not want to put anything under there. You just want those lights to give that kind of undercar glow from it. So Nick is just helping out, saying that there are actually 2 softwares with the controller, D-Juiced and Serato Lite. And in D-Juiced you can use 8 cue points. The software that comes with it from Hercules, called D-Juiced, is actually very nice. It's got a lot of great features on it, and it's grown up over the years. It does most of what Serato DJ Pro does, and it's free. So there you go. No XLR, says Timothy. No, it's only got those unbalanced jack and RCA outputs. The music kids will buy it for Serato. Most kids, sorry, will buy it for Serato. D-Juice needs a lot of traction to get people to buy hardware specifically for that, which is why it's a good move from Hercules to get Serato in the box, of course, because Serato is a monster in the software world. Chateau says, does it work with Virtual DJ? It doesn't. Oh, how much does it cost as well, says Chateau. And also, does it work with Virtual DJ? Hence the confusion. No, it doesn't, but it will do very soon. I'm sure Virtual DJ get their controllers working with everything else like that. And how much does it cost? $299, €279 and pounds. There's a full review of this, by the way, over on Digital DJ Tips. Go to the website, you'll find the review there. We've also got a full 20-minute odd review video where you can find out everything about it. I can't tell you everything about it now because I'm too busy answering your questions, rather. I missed the beginning. What's the supported software? Serato and D-Juiced. All right then. I just checked the Serato hardware page and this is not listed yet. How did you use your set with Serato? Well, they give us early software so we can test this stuff. Is it good for scratching? Yes, the jog wheels are really, really nice. They've got a lovely feel to them. They're tight and clean. Yeah. No problem with scratching on that. Nice and responsive. Good as anything, I would say. So I have the 300. Why didn't I wait? Said Alex. Well, you've got a great controller there in the 300. So all right then. DJ says, what I love is that as bad as a shape as Native Instruments and Traktor is, their hardware is still being copied. I think the Traktor controllers look quite nice. Christian agrees with me. That looks like a pretty solid controller. Is it possible to record your mic voice if you're using D-Juiced? Says D-Juiced. Oh, it is possible to record your microphone if you're using the D-Juiced software, and that comes straight from the horse's mouth. So there you go. If you want to record your microphone, just switch over to the D-Juiced software from it. That was the answer to DJ R's question there. So that's cool. All right then. So I wonder what that knob flashes in if you play a tune in 6/8 time, says Diane. I don't think Serato can handle tunes in 6/8 time, Diane. Good question though. All right then. So there's something on there to help sync DJ's mixes. Yeah, the sync functions are really nice. Or rather, the manual DJ functions are really nice, because the biggest problem when you're learning to manually beat mix is not knowing which tunes are ahead and which tunes behind. And those lights on it do a really good job of helping you with that. All right then. Can you switch off the crossfader? Yes, you can. Do you want me to show you? There's a little switch, probably a bit hard to see on this resolution of camera, here. And that goes between crossfader off, crossfader scratch, and crossfader house. smooth house curve. So a hardware switch, again, you don't often see hardware switches for that kind of thing on controllers at this level, do you? So, all right then. Pioneer now needs to step up their beginner controller game because Hercules is bringing great technology to the table, says Rudy. Indeed. Indeed, yeah, I think this, the Pioneer beginner controllers are starting to look a little bit old, aren't they? So maybe they will. We have no advanced knowledge on that. Lots and lots more questions going on. Lots of people just chatting about stuff in the comments between yourselves. That's always lovely to see. And I'm just looking for anything we haven't answered. CB Belarus says, sorry I'm late. Are those feet on the controller? Yes, they are. The feet are a pretty amazing little thing on this controller. I'll show them you one more time. There you go. Not only feet, but lights underneath. How crazy is that? Pretty cool, I'd say. By the way, if you want to see this controller in action, I'll do a mix on this on Sunday. My balcony beats on Sunday at 5 p.m. London, which is 11 a.m. Eastern. No. I think it's 12 o'clock Eastern. My old brain. Yeah, at midday Eastern, 5 p.m. London. I'll be doing a mix on this on Sunday, so you can see it in action. See what you think of it. Join us on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixcloud Live for that one. All right then. So one or two final questions on this. NASA says fond memories 5 years back of the Hercules DJ Control Jog Vision. Nice quality and good fun. So I imagine this would be a nice starter. Yeah, I mean this is really pitched between the beginner and the DJ's playing out a lot. It's kind of a transition controller. Certainly one of the most ambitious controllers we've seen from Hercules so far. How does it compare to a Denon MC4000? It's not as professional as an MC4000, not as expensive as an MC4000, of course. The MC4000 is truly a pro controller, just in a small footprint. I'd say this is a semi-pro controller. Nice, says DJ Quake. Well, I'm going to go for DJ Quake, who says, nice, I'd definitely love to see that in action. Yep, you can have a look on Sunday on our channels, and I'll be performing with that controller there, so you can have a look at it in action. Is there some peak meter on the mic and auxiliary inputs, says Ken. Glad you asked, Ken. So let's have a little look at that. So what you've got is, these are the mic and auxiliary controls. You've got your mic volume here, and you've got your auxiliary volume here. Now, you probably can't see very well on this screen, but maybe you can. These two have got a little bit of plastic around them, like this one here has, that flashes, right? In this case, this light will come on if you turn the mic up too loud. So it's like a one light peak, and the same with the auxiliary, which is actually all you need. And actually another really good function, right? Having all that metering, you've also got per channel VU meters and master VU meters. The meters are quite dim, and that's purely because it's taking its power from the computer, so presumably they couldn't use too much current to make them brighter. But that is one thing I noticed, the meters are a little bit dim. So Logan says it's interesting the mic isn't in the mixer section. It's quite usual to see microphones down the left hand side actually on some gear. And what's the size comparison with the DDJ 400, says Simon. I'll happily give you a size comparison with the Pioneer DDJ 400. There you go, people. That's the DDJ 400. And there is the Inpulse 500. So it's substantially bigger. Just for those of you who've joined us late, the controller this is the most similar to. Close your eyes now. I'll tell you when to open them. Okay, you can open your eyes. Can you see much of a difference? This is the Tractor Control S3. Apart from the fact that the Control S3 is 4 channels, the look and feel is very, very similar between these two. There you go, I'll whip it away again. So that's the kind of size you're looking at, the Tractor Control S3 type of size. The jog wheels look huge compared to the DDJ. Yes, they are. They're a tiny bit smaller than on the new mix tracks, which are big jog wheels. So I have the Inpulse 300. What's the difference between the 500 and the 300? Serato, I'd say, is a big difference, but I haven't got the 300 here to give you a comparison, so I'm not going to kind of make that up. DJ Troy, but Ozzy is asking the same thing as well. So if anyone's got a 300 and wants to answer Ozzy on Facebook or Troy on YouTube, please go ahead and do so. All right then. there's such a debate going on Twitter over the time and date of either these broadcasts or broadcasts in general. Always good to see those independent conversations going on over there. We need something big from Reloop now, says Riaz. Well, the good thing about competition is it keeps everyone on their toes, doesn't it? All right then. So it's hard to hear your audio, Phil. I know why it's hard to hear the audio, because it's on the built-in microphone. It's not plugged in there. Deary me. I could easily fix that now, but there we go. That's all loud and clear now at the end of the program, isn't it? Thank you, someone, for pointing that out, and slap on my wrist for not realising it earlier on. Anyway, we are actually done now. So apologies if when the audio was a little bit dim there, people, but we're rushing around here trying to get this stuff to you as quickly as possible, and these issues do sometimes happen when you're live. And that is a reason to join us live, because you get to see all the little mistakes. So if you've enjoyed this, hit share, but also hit notify on YouTube. Hit subscribe and notify, and then you'll be told when we go live. And the same on Facebook if you like the page. So I apologise about the audio quality there. It was using the MacBook microphone and not the main microphone. And I'm going to get out of here now, get back to work. Got some teaching to do tonight, got some students in tonight for our Digital DJ Lab. Got my inside track class in just a couple of hours. And guess what? They finally opened the border here. We're in Gibraltar, which is 2 miles by 1 mile. And that means that we get really claustrophobic when we can't get over that border. And it's been closed for 4 months, and they opened it yesterday. So we're going to be dashing over that border tomorrow and spending a little bit of time in on the other side in big wide world of Spain, and not the tiny little 1 mile by 2 mile world of Gibraltar. People are saying the audio is pretty good on the Mac. Yeah, but I guess it got dimmer when I went over there, right? But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. It's always a pleasure, people, and the comments have been awesome. You kind of are the best of the best. So it's always good to be here with you. Get good, get out there, make the moments, folks, and I'll see you again very soon. Until then, bye-bye.